Hey everybody, this video is an interesting video that it'll make sense to you once I explain it, but a lot of people never heard of it. And what it is, it's about using the rotary machines with the tanks on them, the gravity feed tanks. So now here's the thing with this. Having a machine with a gravity feed tank that holds a couple, 2 or 3 gallons of water, it sounds good in theory. Because you have a lot of water and you can disperse water as you go across, and if you think your bonnet's dry, you can add more water, and keep your bonnet hydrated so you're not running a dry bonnet over dry carpet, which could damage your carpets. So the idea of a gravity feed tank, that's a good idea in theory, but I'm going to tell you the problem with it. Okay, this is why I try to warn people: if you want to use a rotary, I don't like rotaries, I like orbital, but if you want to use a rotary, don't put a gravity feed tank on it, and I'm going to tell you why. It's some common sense. When you use a gravity feed tank, what you're doing is you got your machine with your tank on top, and then the water goes out the bottom of the tank. It goes through the deck, through the pad driver, and into the bonnet. So here's a bonnet. Now here's what happens. This is the top of the bonnet. We're pretending this is attached to the machine, and this is the pad driver. So the water goes through, and it gets the bonnet wet on top. Okay, now you're still not protecting the carpet yet because the bottom of the bonnet's not wet. So you keep feeding water through it. So you go from the water from the top down to the bottom to get the bonnet wet. Well, the thing with this this is the funny thing. When you're getting the bottom of the bonnet wet, what do you think you're doing? You're moisturizing the bottom of the bonnet so it won't damage dry carpet because it's a dry bonnet, right? So you're keeping the bottom of the bonnet wet. But what you're doing is, as the water's going through out of the tank, through the deck, through the pad driver into the bonnet, the top of the bonnet through the bottom, to get water to the bottom of the bonnet, common sense will tell you, this is pure science, common sense will tell you that the water is taking a downward travel, and what it's doing is it's going through the top of the bonnet into the bottom of the bonnet. And anything, and by the time the bottom of the bonnet's wet, anything that was in the bonnet is flushed out of the bonnet. So let's say you've run over a carpet and you picked up a little dirt. Okay, well, where do you think the dirt's at? You think it's in the bonnet? No, the dirt's about. So you took some dirt out, but the dirt's right back in the carpet because the dirt can't be in the bonnet because the bottom of the bonnet keeps getting flushed out every time you pull the trigger on your gravity feed tank. So what you're really doing is you're running your water and chemical right through the top of the bonnet, right through the bottom of the bonnet, and you're flushing out the bonnet every time. So every time you move, what you're really doing is you're evenly distributing the dirt. You get the dirt's pulled off the carpet fiber, but since it can't go into the bonnet because the bonnet's flushing water through it, the dirt stays in the carpet, and you're just evenly moving it around the carpet. That's exactly what you're doing. If you think you're doing anything more, well, you're not. You can't possibly be attracting dirt into the bottom of the bonnet if the bottom of the bonnet's basically flushing water out, which is what it's doing to keep the bottom of the bonnet wet. Okay? So this gravity feed cleanliness system, this is bad. It's real bad. Because when you're done, you've evenly distributed dirt all over the carpet. So let's say there's a stain the size of this that's dark in a tan colored carpet. Well, yeah, you get this stain so it's not showing no more, but the dirt that caused the stain is in the carpet. All you've done is loosened with that method, you will strip the dirt off the carpet fibers, but you're not going to absorb the dirt into the bonnet. The dirt's going to go so that something this big could get distributed over an area that's 5 or 6 foot across. You see what I mean? And there's no way to say it's not doing that because that's exactly what it has to be doing. You can't soak dirt into a bonnet if the bonnet's flushing through the bottom into the carpet, which is exactly what it's doing. Now there's a way you can use a rotary with a gravity feed tank, which is if you put your water and solution in the gravity feed tank, and then you put a carpet brush on your rotary, and then you run across your carpet and you pull the lever on your gravity feed tank, and you work your solution in like you're applying a pre-spray. You can do that and since there's no absorption, and you're not grinding the dirt into the carpet like you would with the bonnet, but since there's no absorption, that's fine. But when you get done, you need to come back to where you started, take the carpet brush off, put a pad driver on there, put a bonnet on there, and then run the bonnet over that entire carpet you just more or less moved your pre-spray around on, and don't pull the trigger on the gravity feed tank whatsoever, because you just want to start absorbing. You want everything when you're trying to get the dirt up. You want the dirt to go from the bottom up to the top. Anytime you're going from the top down to the bottom, you're leaving dirt in. When you're going from the bottom up to the top, you're pulling dirt out. So if you want to use a gravity feed tank, don't put a bonnet on there and pull the trigger and run the solution through the bonnet. You're not absorbing nothing in your bonnet. I don't care if your bonnet looks dirty. That's just a little trace amount of dirt that comes off looking dirty. The bonnet, there's very little, if any, dirt in the bonnet, and the rest of it's on the carpet. You're going to leave probably 90% of your dirt in the carpet. The fact you can't see it because it's evenly distributed, it makes it so you got a really nice appearance, but you do not have a clean carpet. All you've done is move the dirt all over the place and made the carpet have a clean appearance. That's all you've really done at all. You have not cleaned the carpet. If you want to use a brush though and work your pre-spray in with a brush, you could do that. And then when you're done, remember, when you're done, change your pad driver, put your pad driver on and take that brush off, put a bonnet on the bottom of your pad driver, and then go across all the carpet that you blended your pre-spray through, but don't pull the trigger. Don't add no more water to it. You'll have plenty of water in the carpet from your gravity feed tank, putting the water in while you're working without any absorption whatsoever. So you don't need more water. But that's the only way you can do that method properly. And I see these guys on these YouTube videos, they're just not cleaning the carpets. They're doing the very thing I said. They're running the water through the tank, right through the bonnet. They're moving the dirt all over the carpet. And then when they're done, the carpet's dirty, but it has a clean appearance. That's the problem with the gravity feed system. It doesn't work. It only works if you use a brush, and nobody on a big place that's like 2,000 square feet, 3,000 square feet, nobody's going to want to take the time to put a brush on and go through the whole place and then go back there with a bonnet. They're going to shortcut it and just use a bonnet on everything, but they're going to leave all the dirt everywhere. I don't care if you're doing commercial or residential, you're leaving the dirt in the carpet no matter what you think. So anyway, that's what this video's about, because I see these YouTube videos with these guys all the time doing a gravity feed bonnet cleaning system, and it's like, these guys, how do they not know what they're doing? But a lot of people don't know, because if it's never been pointed out, you don't catch on. So I'm pointing it out. Now you know. If you're one of these guys doing this, rethink what you're doing. You want to get a carpet wet, and then you want to run a bonnet across it without getting wetter so you can absorb everything. If you keep getting the carpet wet and running water through your bonnet, all you're doing is flushing water through the bonnet. There's no absorption. So anyway, that's what this video's about. So I hope it's helpful to some of you. Have a good day.